Right, I've swapped all 4 bolts on and I'm going to torque them up. The top mounting bolts is 35 foot-pound and the bottom is 40 foot-pound. So I'll do the top ones first. Walk around the camera to get to the side of the bike. Double check this top one again. And then I'll adjust this up to 40. And do the bottom. Cool as. So that's the shocks back on, new bolts, torqued up. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the regulator back on the front, but I'll just do that off camera because you can't see what I'm doing to it anyways. So basically it's just the reversal of taking it off. So, but yeah, I think I'll do that and then I'm definitely calling it a night. Right, catch you later. Right, just a quickie before we get a start on this. When I finished yesterday, I said I was going to put the regulator rectifier back on and that, but I didn't. Basically, after I'd done the shock bolts, I just put everything away because we were going out, so that's why I was finishing early-ish yesterday. Anyways, when we got back, I uploaded the videos onto my computer, and I was just watching them back to make sure that they'd. I have to be careful now because I'm sure this camera is actually playing up. There is 1 or 2 clips that were unplayable sort of thing, but it's nothing that won't be missed, if you know what I mean. I've already explained it in another video. But while I was watching the videos back, when I was torquing up the back wheel, what I didn't see when I was doing it, but it caught it on the camera, because normally I would be blocking your view from where the camera was, so I would have seen it normally, but because I was doing it on so you lot could see, I was at the back of the bike rather than at the side. What I didn't see yesterday was when the socket come off, and even when I put it back on and turned to torque it, it actually was adjusting the adjuster plates on for the belt tension. Now it hadn't actually altered the axle hadn't moved, so when I checked my belt tension it was right. But when I watched the video back and seen that the plate had actually turned, I thought, oh, I'll have to get that sorted. So this morning when I've come in, before I've done anything else, I've basically gone through the same setup again with the back wheel. I loosened it off, torqued it up to 20 foot-pound, set the belt tension, and then torqued it up while I kept an eye on it, so it's right now. So that's something, if you're doing your own, if you've got that type of adjuster, just keep an eye on that. If it turns, you know, and you're at the back of the bike, you won't actually see it turning. So that's why I always tend to do stuff like at the side, so I can see it. So yeah, just thought I'd explain that, just so anyone who saw it. I mean, it's blatantly obvious, and I'm not cutting it out. You know, I don't cut stuff out of my videos. You know, unless if say for instance like now I'm recording, if I was doing something and I said, all right, where's that tool, and then spent 10 minutes looking for a tool and hadn't switched this off, when I'm making the video up for YouTube, I would cut that sort of 10 minutes out, because you don't want to just sit and watch me ratch around the garage for something. But and if I make a mistake, or as an example that back wheel thing there, I don't cut any of that shit out. I'll let you see it, that it's easy to make mistakes. You know, the best of us can do it. I'm not saying I'm the best by a fucking long shot, but you know what I mean. So, and it sounds like my dogs are fucking eating each other. Oi. Yeah. Yeah, I don't cut stuff out, as I've stated. If I make a mistake, you'll see it. You'll also see how I put it right. Well, you didn't see me put that right, but basically I just went through the process again and redid it. But yeah, and the reason I ended up not doing the regulator rectifier is I need to tighten up the front motor mount, the bolts on the front motor mount. So what I'm going to do is I'll get you set up so that you could possibly see, and then I'll do it. But I like to give torque settings for things, so I know what it's like. If I've been doing a job on a car, for example, you know, if I'm doing something on a car, like one of my own, and I think, alright, what's the torque setting for that? And then go and spend fucking half an hour on internet trying to find the correct torque setting, you know. So I like to give torque settings for things when I'm putting it all back together. So I'll do that. So I'll knock you off for now, and then we'll get set up, and we'll get these motor mount bolts torqued up. Right, back soon. Right. Get myself down here. Right, so 9/16 spanner that goes on the bolts, and an 11, I think, 11/16 for the nut, and they get torqued up to 20 foot-pound, or pound-foot, however you want to say it. Do the two bolts for that bolt it to the frame first. And then that middle one should still be loose. Would have been a bit easier, thinking about it, if I'd jacked the bike up a bit higher, because they're on an angle, so the wrench is dragging across the floor. Come on. And that's that. So then the next thing would be wiring out the way and lift the regulator. Right, I lost the battery then. I heard it switch off, so I just pulled the regulator back off so that we could carry on from where we were at. Right, so put your regulator on. You'll notice here I've pulled two cables through. Just clip them back together, and on underside of here there's a clip, and it's a case of getting it on to that. It's almost the same as what was on the swing arm, and it clips in place. Make sure you lift that one out of the way, and then get your, Oh yeah, fucker. Line it up so it drops down. Now there's a clip on this one, on this wire, so I'll just get that on. Over there. And what I'm going to try and do first here, if this is long enough, I've got the wrong ones here. I think I've got the wrong cable tie. I think this is too short. Yeah, it is. So basically, anyways, what you do is you plug your connector back in. Make sure that the clamp is on. And then you run a cable tie around that bit, and there's a little like hole on the connector here that the cable tie comes back through, and then you cable tie it up, and what it does, it stops this connector coming apart. It has happened before, a long time ago, not to me, to a mate of mine, but it'll stop you charging. So anyways, I'm gonna knock you off a minute and get the right size cable tie, connect this up and put it round, and then we'll bolt it down. Right, back in a minute. Right, I've got the clip cable tied in. So I'm just going to cut that off. And then what we'll do is we'll get the nuts on. Seven 16th socket. There is a torque setting. What was that? There is a torque setting, but I tend to just nip them. These definitely don't want to be mega tight. And that's that. Also, on some, not all, but on some bikes, there can be an earth cable that goes on this side. So just make sure that when you're clamping it all down, that you've got all your connections. Right, so that's the regulator rectifier on. So I'll knock you off, we'll get set up in a different place, and we'll crack on with the next bit. Right, back soon. Right, what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to put this brake pipe bracket back on, if I can get at it. just a little bracket that fits in fits into where this swing arm plate is. And just nip that up, doesn't need to be tight. Just enough that it's not going to come loose. And then I'll also pop the little covers back in. I'll just whip around and put the other one in the other side. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to give, where the exhaust slides on, I'm just going to give it a bit of a wire brush just to get rid of any shit on the surface. Just makes it easy to get the pipe back on. So what I'll do, I'll knock you off, I'll clean them up both sides. I'll also clean the pipes, as in the slip-on parts, and then we'll go from there. I'll come back when I'm ready to put them on. Right, won't be long. Right, before I put the silencers back on, slip-ons, whatever you want to call them, I'm just going to tighten all this exhaust mounting system up, brackets and stuff. So I'll just pull that together. This is what I'm tightening up here is the clamp that goes around the gearbox bracket. Oh. Let's get some Allen keys. Right, proper nip that up later. What I need to do is just check, because I can't remember if I undid the exhaust bolts at the head. Find the right socket. I don't think that I did, but I'm just going to check. I just used the wrong fucking socket then as well. No, I didn't. I'm just going to check the front. Right, and now that's on, the exhaust clamp. If you spray a bit of WD on, it helps the pipe go on, but it also just evaporates away and the heat melts most of it off anyways. As you can see, that went on nice and easy. Sure, I'm still recording. Yeah, I am. Yeah, that went on nice and easy, and I'm not tightening it up yet. I'll get the other side on and then basically line them up so that across the back of the bike they're equal. So what I'll do is I'll get them lined up, get the other side on should I say, get them lined up, and then when I'm ready I'll come back and we'll tighten everything up and go from there. Cool as. Right, got the exhausts where I'm happy with them. I need to torque this up, but I'm going to tighten these clamps at the end first. So I'll just nip these up hand tight, well tight, but you know, tight enough that they're not going to come loose. And then once I've set my torque wrench, £60 foot-pound or pound-foot. I'm going to fucking say this right now. What are we on? Pound-foot. Yeah, in between 45 and 60 pound a foot these get torqued up to. Give myself some space. Oh, fucking hell. Because of the position I'm doing it in, just awkward to get some leverage on it. That's it, says he. So all I need to do now is just put the heat shield back on. That goes underneath that one. Yeah, get them connected back together and tighten back up. But obviously first I need to tighten the other side up. So I'll just quickly whip round and do that. And same on this side. Tighten the clamps up on the back first. And then get in. Oh. This one's going to probably be even more awkward. So apart from this little heat shield, which I'll sort in a second, that's the exhaust system back on. Well, the tailpipes, push-ons, slip-ons, whatever you want to call them. So I think what we'll do, I'll knock you off and put this heat shield on properly, and then I think we'll put this side panel back on, and then the rear footboards. And I think that's pretty much it. Obviously tank to put back down and seat to put on and boxes to put on, but that's pretty much it. And then we can get it out and take it for a run up the road, make sure everything's alright, get these rear brakes bedded in. Yeah, so I'll knock you off for now and get this heat shield on, and I'll be back in a minute. Right, get this side panel back on now. And then we'll get this this footboard on. Right socket. And here's the postie. So what I'll do, I'll just knock it off for a minute while I get my mail, and then I'll come back. Right. Just put my adapter on. Because of the closeness of this, it's easier to go with an adapter on the end of a 3/8. Fits in a lot easier. And these get torqued up to 18 pound-foot. So I'll just alter this. Needs a fucking good clean, I know that much. Right, and the same on the other side. So I'll just knock you off while I do the other side. And I'll be back soon. Right, next thing is it'll drop the tank back down. As you know, I had it lifted up so I could get at the adjuster under there. What I've also done is I've just give the heads a wipe off, a clean up, while the tank was up. So I just pull, that's all I had it chopped up with, a couple of lumps of nylon. And then the same on the front, just take the wood out of that. That was just 2 little blocks of wood under the front of the tank. So now, just get it so it goes down to where it's meant to live. Oh, tripping over some fuel line. And this side rubber on the mount always fucking twists. Pain in the ass. Right. So just cables, make sure they're routing back to where they were. We'll find the bolts. Right, the tank one's actually a Torx bit, so that should be kicking about somewhere. It's not that one. That's the baby. Won't actually tighten that just yet. We'll get these front two in. There, Allen head. And the torch. Might as well do this side, seeing as I'm around here. Oh, you fucking ass. What I've just done, well, just noticed, should I say, the mounting for the tank is on the front, is also the mounting for the coil pack, and it's come off on the other side. So I'm going to knock it off. Need to lift the tank back up just to get the coil pack back in place. So I'll just be a minute. Right, sorted that little issue. It just behind the front of the tank, where the tank bolt goes through, there's like a bit that sticks out and it's got a square on it. Same on the other side, and there's a matching square on the bracket for that holds the coil on, and I'd actually knocked it off on the other side, so it was not mounting. But it's right now. So we'll get this one in, hopefully. And before I fully tighten that one, I'll get the back bolt back in. Which shouldn't be an issue, it should just line straight up. The other side's already in, I put it in while I was round there. So I'll put the key back on and we'll just nip these Allen bolts up first. Make sure I haven't got it stuck on the rubber so it spins it round. Right, same up to the side. And then just nip the one up on the bottom. On the back, should I say. And again, sort me where it's pulled. We'll grab the seat. Give it a quick dust off. Right, and now, carefully, make sure the wires are out there. Close the wrong wall. I thought it was fucking empty. That's it. and then reach in under the back box. Nip that down, job done. And all that leaves is to put the boxes back on. And as I'm going to be washing the whole bike, well, after I've took it for a run, it won't matter that I haven't cleaned them. So I'll just knock you off for a minute and get rid of some of these tools on the floor, and then come back and we'll put the boxes on.